What, boy? Ruben, you don't know how much it fucks me up when the music goes in and out and I want to say something and then it's like, oh shit, it's still playing. But anyways,
I can always cue you in, dude.
Table. What was that?
I can always cue you in, like I do with the Edge Out Angels. I can just cue you in.
I don't give a shit. It'd be funny if I just did it. But
Okay.
anyways, everybody, to the round table here on HamiltonRadio.net, channel HR2. I am your host, John Brecco, and I apologize if I look like I'm about to tell a fucking campfire story over here. I was playing with my cats and knocked my laptop off the table, so there's that. And he's also meowing at me from the door. I guess my pussy likes to meow at me when I shut it out. So if you hear that, I apologize for that too. But everybody, welcome. Like I said, to the round table. We have a very special guest tonight. She does a show called Women Behind Glass. She does it every Friday at 10 p.m. So you should definitely check her out. And her name is Ilani Michelle. How you doing, girl? You good?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me. How are you?
I'm all right. I can't complain. I got to take off from work, so I'm usually doing the show trying to get through chafing like a motherfucker just to get to the studio or home or anything. I walk all day at work. That's why.
Okay. What do you do?
I work at Amazon.
Okay.
And I'm fat. The thing is, I'm fat, so walking around with, being me doesn't really mix all too well. But, I do want to talk a little bit about comedy since we're here. It's honestly, the pandemic in a way has been a blessing because, I've gotten to connect with so many different comedians through doing online shows through other people. And, that's really a silver lining when I look at it. So I guess the first question I've got is, how long have you been doing this?
Since October of 2019 officially, and unofficially since July of last year.
Okay, why do you say like unofficially since July?
Because I did my first show in DC in July, and then I took a break because the job I had at the time was not like conducive to me doing comedy, so I wasn't doing shows for like a few months, and then I got a different job where I was just working 9 to 5 and no weekends, so I could do more shows.
So basically, it just worked better with your schedule, so you just decided to pick it back up.
Yeah, essentially.
That makes sense. What made you want to do some of the stuff you're doing now? Like, you've got the open mic you're doing Wednesdays. You've got Women Behind Glass, every Friday. What made you want to start doing that?
I just wanted to give comedians like a space to still be able to like tell jokes and connect with other people. The one that I do on Friday is like it's an all female lineup. I just felt like there needed to be more space for female comedians, so I set that up with my friend Bria, and that's what we've been doing since March. So I just thought it'd be fun and better than sitting in my room.
I was gonna say, it's something to do. Really, it gives you an outlet to still be able to, talk to people. Hear a lot of other comedians' material, which I think is a lot of fun. Honestly, going back and forth with all these different guys and girls. So I have fun doing, the show, the live streams that I've done, the shows I've done, whether they've been on Zoom or Instagram. I love the opportunity to be able to go back and forth. And like I said before, I wouldn't have gotten it if this didn't really happen. So I guess it's kind of a silver lining, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I do want to ask, what made you want to start doing stand up in the first place? Like, what was there like something that kind of, I guess, pulled the trigger to you doing it? Because when I talk to a lot of different comedians, you know, they they've thought about doing it before, they've had somebody mention it, but for whatever reason, they didn't really want to do it. So, did you have something like that happen for you?
Um, yes, back when I was living in Texas, my friend, her boyfriend, Matt Plagas, he runs a comedy group back in our hometown in Amarillo. And she was like, you should join, you know, you're really funny. And they need a girl in their group. But I was like, I wasn't 100% on board with joining them because it was a bunch of like not straight edge, excuse me. It was a bunch of white guys trying to like be edgy, you know, like I didn't really think they were that funny. I was like, I don't know if I want to get with a group that I don't think is like funny. But then he got different members and they were funnier.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And then I moved up here and I got involved in the comedy scene when I was on one of the worst Tinder dates I've ever been on. We went to an open mic together and they basically, I won't say bullied me, but they basically pressured me into like signing up for the open mic.
Okay.
And so I did that open mic, and then I met one of the show producers here in DC who has since been very helpful in telling me like what shows to go to and like who to get to know. Um,
Okay.
how I got started in DC.
All right. Before I ask you any like serious questions, I want you to spill the tea about this Tinder date. Like, why was it so bad? I'm curious now.
Well, the first thing out of their mouth when we met up was that they were glad that they didn't cancel, like they were planning on canceling because I was hotter in person than I was in my pictures.
Oh.
And they also like kept trying to hold my hand, and their hand was like very cold and clammy, and I was not interested in holding their hand. And then like I thought we were just gonna go to one open mic, but we ended up going to like 2 or 3 that night. And then we eventually went back to their place and ordered Chinese food. But it was so awkward that I just came up with an excuse that I had to go, and then I forgot my Chinese food. And also, like, they parallel parked my car for me because I'm not great at parallel parking. But they had parked it up on top of the sidewalk, and so my car was stuck. And so when I was trying to leave, I had to call them for help. And they like would not come out to help me with my car. They had parked on top of the sidewalk. Um, they were like, I don't know what you want me to do for you. And I was like, I just want you to like unpark my car. And they were like, I don't know what that means. And then they hung up.
Like, hold on. You're the one that parked the car and you won't come back to come help?
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was really, really bad. And then they like tried to go on a second date with me for like months, and I was just like not about it because the first date was like so awful. Like,
No. Honestly, like I had like a little sliver of hope that it would have gotten better around the Chinese food, but then you said you forgot the Chinese food, and I just got so sad.
yeah, I was like so eager to just like get out of there that I didn't
Yeah.
eat the food. I was just like, I cannot be around this person any longer. Like, I've got to go.
This was like the first time you ever did comedy in Maryland too?
Yeah, it was my very
Oh.
first time comedy in DC or Maryland. Like,
So
gosh, I don't remember most of it, but
I mean, you don't even remember how many open mics you went to exactly, which I don't blame you. The Tinder date sounded awful. But, I mean, was it like awkward, you know, to try to get into the comedy scene after that because of the terrible first Tinder date?
no, actually, everybody fairly supportive and helpful. My date, they had actually been involved on the comedy scene for a while, but after the date that we went on, I think they did comedy for another month before they like officially quit. Like
Uh,
they don't do it anymore.
what,
Um,
what made him quit, if you know?
they just said that they weren't getting out of it what they thought they were going to get out of it, and I don't really know what that statement means.
I,
Um,
really, you kind of just do it to form a bunch of connections, and you hope it goes somewhere. You keep writing, you keep trying to improve. It's not something you can get something out of right away. So it doesn't really make any sense that somebody would quit. How long was he doing it for? Do you have any idea?
well, their pronouns are they, them.
Oh,
Uh, but I don't know. I think they were doing it for like 2 years or something like that. Maybe a year. I know it wasn't like a super extraordinary
yeah,
amount of time. But like the early years, for most of us, it's not gonna be like this huge thing where you blow up overnight. Like you have to put in your time or whatever.
hours and hours. That's really anything in life. So I mean,
Yeah, and I mean, personally, I enjoy it, so it doesn't feel like a chore to me when I was going to open mics like 4 or 5 days out of a week. It wasn't like this thing that was like
yeah,
draining to me because I actually enjoyed doing it. But I think sometimes people get into it and they think it's just going to be like, oh, I'll do this open mic a couple of times and I get my Netflix special. And it's not like that at all. Like,
no, you gotta you gotta keep on coming back. Make yourself known if you want to actually get something out of it. And I mean, it's tough at times, but honestly, I think my favorite part about doing this is not just the making people laugh, but when you get to hang out with people after the show, or you get to know people after the show, and you get to talk with them back and forth, whether it's just comics or audience members that maybe the comics brought. I think it's just fun to just be able to hang out with these people after the show and just have a lot of fun doing that.
yeah, I mean, like, I've met most of my good friends here in DC through open mics and going to the same place every
Yeah,
Monday or every Tuesday or whatever. You just start to kind of network. I don't know, but I feel like if it feels like a chore for you, then yeah, maybe it's not for you because it shouldn't feel like a chore.
yeah. I think you got to give it time, though. It's just one of those things that you got to do a few times, see what happens, see if you make any friends doing it that make it a little bit more bearable for a while, and then, maybe see if anything develops from there. Because I have certain places that, well, this was before the pandemic, but I have certain places that, I enjoyed going to, and places that after a few times that I didn't want to go back. And there were certain people that, I enjoyed working with, and certain people that, were just one and done. But I think that, you got to give different places and people a chance really to get the full experience for it and really enjoy it. I think that took me about a year before I really had certain places and, people that I enjoyed being around before I found others on top of it. So, it takes time.
Just like anything in life.
You got to trust the process. That's all.
hmm
Okay. Honestly, like, I really like your story though about how, like, you started, about how it's like, oh, you're really funny, you should join these guys. I'm gonna get to my stuff in a second, but I do want to ask, when you first joined the club in Texas, because you said you're from Texas, right?
hmm
Okay, so when you first joined them, and you saw a bunch of these guys that were trying to be edgy and weren't actually funny, do you feel like it was because they were trying to be like something they weren't? Did it have something to do with that?
I don't know if it was that or if it was more just so like they thought by saying whatever edgy shit first came to mind would get them a laugh. Like I really think some of them thought, oh well, if I say this like this racist joke or whatever, somebody's gonna laugh. They were doing it more to like get the audience provoked, but nobody was like necessarily laughing. Like,
Yeah.
I went to a couple of the shows and I would always just leave feeling uncomfortable, but I would never laugh, and so that's why, like, for a while I was not interested in getting into comedy, because I come from not a small town, but it's a mid-sized town.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what other comedy scenes were like, but I felt like if it was like the way it was in my hometown, I didn't really want anything to do with it.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. You don't want somebody to make you feel uncomfortable. Was the room just like dead most of the time?
Yeah, I mean, like, there was one guy, he was a white guy. He has like this set of jokes about how he dates like women of color so he can get like street cred or whatever, and that just like irked me. And so, like, after I heard that set, I literally did not go to their shows for like, I think it was 8 months. Like, I was so done with them. I was like, that's not funny.
You said he wanted street cred. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Because, like, personally, if a white guy dates me, you're not going to get any street cred. Like, I'm just going to ask you to do my taxes. That's it. Like, I don't have any street cred of my own to, like, transfer over to you.
Listen, honestly, like, I read my news feed sometimes and I see funny posts from different comedians. All I knew about you coming into this show is that if you were to date a white guy, you don't want to go rock climbing with him. That's all I knew coming into this show.
Yeah,
like, that's
no,
the thing that I remember too.
Yeah, I mean...
Which, listen, that's not my thing either. My fat ass stays planted on the ground. So, you know, that's not something I even want to do anyway. Also, I'm scared of heights. Like, deathly afraid of that. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But, wait, so is that actually how he said it?
What, with the rock climbing or the joke?
No, with the rock climbing, did he actually say he was, like, trying to get street cred? Did that actually come out of his mouth?
Yeah, and we were all just sitting there looking at each other like, he really just said that.
Come on, bro.
We should throw stuff at him. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised that, like, nobody at any of these shows said anything at all.
I would just get up and leave. I was like, okay, I'm done.
Like, I'm just weird that nobody was provoked into saying that. Nobody left. They all just stood there.
They just looked at him. Like, they didn't laugh, but they didn't leave either. And I was just kind of like, weird.
I just thought it would have happened at least, like, one of them. Because I've had a lot of shows where people, you know, will just stand there and, you know, just not say anything at a joke like that. I think that, you know, it takes a certain kind of tact to pull it off, first of all. But I think it's a comic's job to try to read the room when that's going on. If people are laughing, then, okay, I can keep going with this. You know, maybe it won't be so bad. But I think if it's making a person uncomfortable, then that's when you just need to either just apologize, say that you thought this was going to work better, or just change the subject.
Yeah, and they never would.
You know, because I'll make, you know, because, you know, sometimes, you know, I'll get to writing stuff, and when I test something out, like the fact that I have 2 cats, you know, I could sit here and make pussy jokes all day, and, you know, sometimes I test them out and it just doesn't work. And, you know, sometimes, you know, I'll test out other things that do, and I try to just go from there. But, oh my God, he said he wanted street cred. I can't get that out of my head.
Take all the time you need to process that. But yeah, it's a lot.
Like, I'm trying to get through my questions, and it's just messing me up. Holy shit. I've never heard that exact phrase.
Do you see why it took me so long to get involved with comedy? Because the group I was with, it was not good. It was not good.
Okay, so what kind of made, I guess, the owner of the club? Because you said the boyfriend or whatever was like a guy's own, was like your friend's, the owner, right?
Well, he was like one of the co-founders.
Oh,
And what's funny is like we had matched on Bumble before he started dating her, and I went to some of his shows, because we matched on Bumble, and he was like, "Oh, I
yeah.
do stand comedy. You should come." So I went to one of his shows, and they were so hacky that I would always like just get up and leave before he could even say anything to me. Um, so like then he ended up like we ended up blocking each other on social media because we would get into fights over stuff.
Oh,
Um, and then like she started dating him, and she was like, "He's not that bad of a guy. I'm working on him to be a better person." And I was like,
oh, that.
"Good luck." But he has gotten better. But the thing is, like, I didn't join his group until like literally a month and a half before I was leaving town to move up here. So it took him 2 years to get the group improved.
Oh, I was about to ask how it took him. It took him that long. Oh,
Yeah.
boy. But I guess he finally got, better comics, and you just felt a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, basically, because my friend bullied him into stop like being a hack comic, I guess. Like she would just straight up tell him nothing you said on stage was funny, and I guess that.
Yeah, and I guess somebody that was close to him. I guess that's what it took, to
Yeah,
get him to, I guess, stop what he was doing, try to get something better. People kept coming though.
yeah. I mean, not a lot of people, but
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then he probably had to do it. To be honest,
mhm,
looking back at it, that's, I guess, from what I'm gathering, that's what that kind of seems like to me.
mhm.
But honestly, like, I do want to ask: are you nervous to like start doing shows that are live again? Has that been like a nervous thing for you at all? Because I actually want to know this myself, because my first one's tomorrow. Are you nervous like to go back at all if you haven't already?
No, I feel like as long as everybody's following the safety procedures, you should be fine. I have
Yeah.
my own mic that I bought, and so that's making me feel a lot better
Yeah.
about doing shows. And the live shows that I have been seeing have been like mainly outdoors. They're rotating mics, they're wiping off mics, they're keeping the audience 6 feet apart from each other. So, I don't think that live stand up comedy is going to be normal anytime soon. But I don't think you should be super afraid to perform at a live show right now either. Like as long as you're following the procedures, like wearing your mask and putting on hand sanitizer before and after you get on stage and bringing your own mic if you can, then you should be fine.
But what about like the feeling of like being in front of a live crowd again? Because I remember when I first did, my first few Zoom shows, I was super nervous to do that because I'm like, all right, I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't know how people are gonna respond, considering I'm on video and I'm not actually there. Now that I'm, about to go to a different, live show again, first one in like 5-6 months around that, you know, I'm actually kind of nervous because this is the first time I'm in front of like an actual crowd again.
Yeah, yeah. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. I was going to say, you don't feel like any nervousness going in front of a crowd again?
I always feel nervous,
Oh,
but I don't. It's just nervousness from I don't know. Like anytime I get on stage, I get very But
nervous.
yeah, I'm nervous in the way that you always feel nervous right before you have to perform, but I'm not nervous because of the virus or anything.
Yeah. No, that hasn't really been too much of a concern. I mean, we know what to do, so I really haven't dwelled on that too much. It's just, going back to where we were again, I think is what does it for me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, what was I about to say? No, but I remember like the reason why I was saying that I like your story before, and I actually thought of that question in the middle of that, but the reason why I liked it is because, I can relate to having, like, people telling me, like, oh, you should do comedy, you should do comedy. My reaction to it was just like, I don't think anything that I say is going to really translate on stage. But then, I had two different people, like, really try to pressure me to do it, really try to talk me into it. And one of them used to write, and she would show me, like, all these different stories that she had written down, throughout the time she was still writing. And eventually I told her, because I started doing this is how I met a bunch of comedians, actually. And I started telling her, I was like, you know what? If you start writing again, because she hadn't written for years by that point. So I was like, if you start writing again, I'll give comedy a shot, see how it goes. And I remember she started showing me a couple of stories that she'd recently wrote. I was like, fuck, now I got to actually do this shit. So I go to do a show. I remember the comic there, he gave me 10 minutes, and I didn't realize how long that was going to be until I actually got on stage. And, I ended up getting through it. I did okay, I guess, looking back. Probably a lot better than it had any right to be. So he invited me back to a couple more shows, and I was, I guess, hooked by it at that point. Although there is one place that I do want to go back and perform at again, and that's Philly, because I remember I did a couple open mics there, and I got so nervous doing them.
Oh no.
Yeah, because the way they do their open mics is they let, like, as many people as they can sign up. They do 3 minutes. You're waiting, for so many different comics to go, and their mics go super long too. I think I did one of them at like 8, and I didn't perform till like 1 a.m. that night. Yeah, no, it was crazy. And I was so tired by the end of it, and I'm already nervous. So I get through like 1, 2 jokes, and then I'm like, that awkward moment when you forget everything else you're supposed to say?
Yeah.
And I just walked off stage.
Oh,
so
man. Happened to me.
That's like the one place where I really want to redeem myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully soon. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, right. Whenever I'm gonna perform there again.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm mostly nervous because I don't know like what venues are going to be open when we all get back to normal, if we ever do get back to normal.
Yeah.
So many bars and independent businesses are not, like, we just have to face it, they're not going to come back.
Yeah, that's true. There's gonna be comedy clubs that don't come back too, which that's probably gonna be the saddest part about it. Performing again, all these different places you got to perform at before, and now they're not there anymore. I'm hoping everybody's gonna make it, but I just know it's not gonna happen.
No, that's depressing.
And I'm thinking of like all like the small places that I would go to. Maybe somewhere in New York where I would just perform in a back room, or maybe like a smaller club. I remember Greenwich Village Comedy Club the first time I went there. Because it's done in a basement. You go down a few steps. There's enough seats for like 50, 60 people. The stage is tiny. The green room is the fucking kitchen. And you're like sitting in this narrow space that would not make anybody feel comfortable right now at all. And I just love the feeling of like small little clubs like that, like the intimate feel that you get. And I hope as many clubs that can pull through out of that, because I do love doing those shows as much as I love the bigger ones too.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. So, like, what are some of your favorite, like, places to go, stories from just doing comedy? I want to hear a little bit about that, too.
Well, like here in DC, there's like a set amount of places that you can go.
Yeah.
I would go to Beer Baron on Mondays, and I would do the Capital Laughs open mic. Tuesday, I would go to Shenanigans, which is a bar in Adams Morgan.
Okay.
Wednesday, there was an open mic at Havana Bar. I didn't really go to that one that often. And then Friday and Saturday night, I would usually have a show with Capital Laughs at this restaurant / bar called Cafe St. X on 14th Street.
Nice.
But like, I don't know. I hope those places open up again. I think Beer
Yeah.
Baron will open. But I don't know. It's just everything's up in the air right now. I have noticed that some of my friends, I don't know, we've been just noting who's been getting booked and who hasn't been getting booked for outdoor shows. So that's been kind of interesting. I hear that New York comics, like minority comics, are having a harder time getting booked than their white counterparts. So that's also something that's kind of been discouraging. But
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm not going to do anything on it anytime soon. But yeah, for right now, it does kind of feel like I don't know when I'm gonna get booked again, kind of thing. And I don't know if it's because like people don't remember me, or like if they just genuinely don't think I'm funny, or if I'm like overthinking it, and maybe like they're planning on booking me, but they haven't reached out yet. I don't know. It's been weird. I'm trying not to like really dwell on it because I still have other stuff going on, but.
You're probably overthinking it. If anything, I would maybe try to reach out to like one or two people, see if they're doing anything that you might want to do. I would try to do that because, people have been reaching out to me to do different shows, and I think I have 2 or 3 outdoor ones coming up this month, but I don't have like a whole lot, and I think only one of them somebody reached out to me, so I wouldn't dwell on it too much. Usually, I guess with bookers, especially the ones that are booking shows outside right now, I think, sometimes you just gotta ask.
Yeah, for sure. And I've been keeping that in mind. Although I have been not taking a break from comedy because I still run my Wednesday and Friday shows, but I haven't been as active on the scene because I am also in school right now.
Yeah.
I actually have a paper that I have to finish when we're done here.
Yeah.
So I haven't really been reaching out because I don't want to overextend myself.
Yeah.
This school has been really, really overwhelming. I just don't have the time to sign up for every mic or reach out to every person that's booking right now because I know even if they do book me, realistically, I don't have the time to drive out there and do the show because I have something due at midnight. Like,
yeah,
I don't know why I thought doing summer school was going to be a good idea because I'm the world's worst student. Procrastinate till the very end. The very end.
Bro, I feel you. I used to do the same shit all the time.
And like I have an opportunity to change. Like I had 2 weeks to write this paper. I'm only halfway finished with it, and it's due at midnight. So
Wait,
I don't know.
What's your major?
Business finance.
Okay. Did you actually want to do that, or was it something that you kind of just decided to do because you might make money off of it?
No, it's something I want to do. I've been working in financial institutions for about 3 years now, and I would like to advance in my company. But the only real way to do that is if you get your bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing.
What made you want to do that?
What, work in financial institutions?
Yeah.
So when I was 21, I had been working in a grocery store for the majority of my adult life, like full-time kind of thing, but it was kind of a miserable gig. Like my manager was very mean.
Yeah, no, that's always awful.
Yeah, and so like one day I just quit. I think it was right after like a really bad breakup. and I was like standing at the cash register, just bawling my eyes out. And as a cashier, nowhere for you to go. Like if you're
Yeah.
upset, if you're crying, you just have to stand there and cry it out. And it was awful. And so
God.
I just, after like 3 years of doing that, I put in my 2 weeks. I didn't know what I was gonna do afterwards, but I just knew I could not continue to work retail.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me.
They caught you on the long day.
Yeah, and so then I landed the job working at one of the local banks in my hometown, and I really liked it, and I was pretty good at it. And so I just decided that I wanted to stick with banking
Hey.
for my career, because banking is like it can get tricky, but it's not really like not like a hard job. Like as long as you're paying attention to the numbers and you're good with people,
Yeah.
you get your 9 to 5, you get your weekends off, you
That
don't
is-
work holidays.
No, yeah. And honestly, as long as you're happy, that's what matters. But I remember, I ended up walking out of UPS before I started working at Amazon. I just remember, like, I was working there, like, trying to do my job the best I could, you know, I was doing the whole time. And I remember one of the managers came over and told me I was doing this wrong. And I'm like, look, I've been doing it this way since the beginning. I do my best here every day. And he ended up telling me, no, you don't. You don't come in here and do your best. And if you don't do it the way I say it, you can fucking leave. And I was just like, fuck this. I just walked out as soon as he said it. And what I don't understand, I'm in the middle of walking out. He tells me, you leave, don't come back. Like, I wasn't planning on coming back.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It's just kind of horrible how people who work in retail or, grocery store settings
Yeah.
treat it. 'Cause I remember I was making like $10.92 an hour, like not even minimum wage.
Yeah.
And my manager would just like belittle me and like berate me over stupid stuff.
Like for what?
Yeah, and I was like, I would always come in. I never called in sick, and she was like, I feel like she was meaner to me than she was anybody else. I mean, like everybody who worked there had something negative to say about her, so I know it wasn't just me. But I don't feel like you should have to work in a toxic work environment if you're not happy. And like I said, I didn't have any plan at all when I quit there, but I just knew that like I couldn't continue to stay somewhere where I wasn't like appreciated or valued.
Yeah.
So I put in my 2 weeks and I dipped. I was like, whatever.
If you can afford to get out of something toxic, you need to get whatever's toxic out of your life.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Like it's just not. And now I have a fairly nice job. I like all my coworkers. I am pretty introverted. I know people are like surprised to hear that about me, but I am like I don't do well working with like a large group of people. I think my max is working with 5 or 6 others. And at my current job I only work with like 3 people on a regular basis. It's ideal for me. Like customers aren't allowed in the bank right now, so
yeah. You work in a big ass warehouse or grocery store wherever no one gives a fuck about each other.
no. Like you're there to like do your shit and then you go home.
Yeah. And that honestly makes it so toxic. So I'm with you 100% on the work environment. It's better just to have a small group. One where just you all know each other and you're all working together,
Yeah. Agreed.
You know what? Honestly, now that I think about it, I think one of the things that makes comedy a lot of fun to do is you can choose who you're around. You don't have to be around every single person. You don't have to talk to every single person. You can choose who you want to be around at shows, who you might want to bring on a show that you do, all that stuff. You could choose what you're around and how your environment is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's fun now that I think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But is there, anything in comedy that, you might want to do in the future? Anything like you've been thinking about?
I would like to eventually run my own show in person. I've been doing it online with my friend Bria, which is our online Women Behind Glass show every Friday. But I'd like to do it in person. I would like to see like more female comics. I would like to see more LGBTQIA plus comics. I just would like a more diverse group than what it feels like we have right now.
Like what you feel like you have in like Maryland and DC, or just in general?
Just in general, I feel like when people think of stand-up comedy, they think of like a cis het straight white dude, you know,
Yeah.
jokes. But women are still like underrepresented in comedy, and
Yeah.
still comments like, "Oh, well, for a woman, you're funny," and I would like to just be able to cut down on that.
Listen, honestly, I had my girlfriend start doing stand-up comedy, about a year into us dating, and she was just like, "Can I just do one of your shows just to like try it out? Because I always see you doing it." So I'm like, "Yeah, sure, of course." And I remember people used to ask me like, "What would you do if she's funnier than you?" I was like, "Be happy." Like, why would I? Why would I want her to go on stage and not be funny? Like, I already know from me talking to her back every day to her coming to the shows, hanging out with everybody, that she's gonna be funnier than me when I first started. Like, I don't have to be told this. And I'll still have people come up and try to remind me, like, she's funnier than you, right? I'm like, I know. Like you're not telling me anything I don't already know. But honestly, if you ever come down to New York, I know that's pretty far, but I have seen a lot of different, gay comics, lesbian comics that, get put on shows over there. And I think it's honestly really fun to watch them perform. Some of them are really, really funny, and I enjoy, seeing them, do their thing. And I think it's great. And I think it's great that you're trying to make that happen for yourself too.
Yeah, I've actually, funny enough, I've met a lot of New York comics on Twitter, like during the pandemic. I don't know. I really don't know what happened. I guess I just started following certain people, like Rebecca T. Kaplan. She's on Twitter. I started following her one day, and like she's a New York comic. She's so funny. She's very supportive. Like they're all really a supportive group. They even have like a group chat for your tweets before you post them, and like to help you figure out the best way to get likes on it, which I didn't even know was a thing. But you guys, there's like a whole science behind a viral tweet. There's like a team of people behind the scenes who are like, okay, you should word it this way, like put it this way, then post it.
Yeah, telling you how often to post and all that shit.
Yeah, like they have scheduled tweets. I didn't know that was a thing, but they schedule their tweets. They tell you the best time to put your content out on Twitter and Instagram. And they're like, oh, yeah, don't post at 3 p.m. on a Thursday because no one's going to like it because no one's really on Instagram at that time. And I'm just like, who the fuck?
What's that app called? Hootsuite that they schedule shit on?
Yeah, you can do it on your computer, actually. But it's crazy. But New York comics have been very nice. Like Rebecca Kaplan, Stephen Cohen, Rachel King.
Too.
Huh?
I think Rebecca followed me too. I know I've had a bunch of different comics that I have no idea who they are started following me. Like when the pandemic was happening, I'm like, do I know you? Now I just assume like if it's somebody I don't know, it's a comic.
Yeah, same here. But they've been very supportive. That's nice.
No, honestly, most of the comics that, I've met wherever are honestly great. I know one thing that I definitely want to do when, I don't have to quarantine for 2 weeks at some of these states. I want to, if I can, try to travel to all the different places that I've met somebody out of and meet all the different people that, I've gotten to know over the last few months. I think that would just be really cool, just to, I guess, not really take a road trip because I really don't have the money for that, but just go to different states at different times and meet all these different people, like Phoenix. I met some dude from Idaho. You had brought him on a show recently. There's a couple comics from Nebraska. I've met a bunch of Cali comics. Definitely want to go to Maryland to meet a lot of the comics I've met there because a bunch of them were from Maryland. I remember I did your mic once. I think just about everybody was. Bunch from Virginia too.
Do what?
Bunch of them from Virginia too.
Yeah, there's a lot of comics from the DMV area.
Yeah, definitely.
Wednesday night, at least.
The good thing is too, I can actually drive there.
Where are you, John? By the way,
I'm in Jersey.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say because there I can actually drive to. When I look at Phoenix and Cali and those states down there, I was like, I'm not driving there.
No, my former co-host, his name is Bob Holden. He just moved to Jersey.
Yeah. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I remember he was the one I was talking to when I was going to come on the mic a couple times, but it ended up not happening. I would have honestly loved to see him, on the show the first time, but I guess, things happen the way they did. It's all good. Hopefully I can perform with him sometime soon,
Yeah, Bob is great. I met him through Capital Laughs here in DC.
Okay.
But I know right now he's in Jersey.
Yeah. You said he's working like some night shift job.
He's a waiter.
Oh yeah, fuck. Yeah, that's what you told me. Yeah, I might not be performing with them for a while. All right.
Are restaurants and bars that busy in Jersey or?
I think some of them, not really a whole bunch of them because people are still scared to go outside. Like, the diners by me are dead most of the time. Yet I'll go into Wawa, it's fucking packed. But I think it really just depends on where you go, honestly. It's hit and miss. What about by you?
Everything's outdoors.
Is everything busy, though, or?
It depends on certain days, on certain times, but
Okay.
never been so crowded where I'm just it doesn't feel like how it was last year or anything, but things are open.
Yeah. I was wondering how people were going to treat that too. Like, is everybody going to come out at once? Or is everybody going to be scared to come outside, and understandably why? I was wondering how that was going to be, honestly.
It's a slow trickle, which I get.
Yeah, definitely.
But like I said, if you're wearing your mask and you're washing your hands, bringing your hand sanitizer, it's generally okay. I wouldn't advertise eating inside or anything like that, but it's not a horrible thing if you're getting a drink with a friend outside.
Yeah, nah, it'll be all right. We'll find a way to survive at the end of the day. We've been all right for 5 months, so we'll be all right. But is there anything else that you want to mention before the show ends? Because we've got less than 10 minutes.
You can follow me on Twitter at Ilani Kitten or Instagram at Electric Rose Kitten. And then you should get a ticket for Bria Badeau and I's online Friday show, Women Behind Glass. It's all female comedians. And also, thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
I know it's a while. It's taken us a minute to get to this point.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the first time that happened, you had to finish a paper. And I thought about it. I was like, wait, isn't it the summer? Then I was like, okay, she probably has summer school. And then fucking Isaiah knocked out the power last week, too. So I couldn't even do a show at all that week. But, I do want to say this. When I saw your Instagram name for the first time, I was like, I swear to God, she definitely stole somebody's gamer tag. I looked at that and I'm like, that's the first thing I thought. That's her best friend's gamer tag. There's no way. Huh?
I said I'm dead. That's funny. I just like that name. I don't know. I should probably change it, but
Wait, hold on. What made you come up with it? You just put like 3 things together and you thought they sounded good?
I like cats. The rose is my favorite flower. The electric part sounded edgy. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it made it a little bit edgier with like fire, lightning, and shit. No, but honestly though, I was leaning down a little bit because I don't know if anybody noticed, but I was trying to pet my cat when he was walking in here.
Aw, I want to see him.
You want to see him before the show ends?
Yeah, I like cats.
Hold on. Let me honestly walk because that's going to be awkward if I just walk away from the show I'm supposed to be doing.
I'm dead.
Where's Silver? Oh, he's right there. Oh, now he wants to fucking sleep.
Aw, he's cute. Look at his little face.
He was walking around and bothering me, for like half the show. Now he just wants to sleep it off like nothing happened.
He's so cute.
Yeah. We actually got him from the shelter the day we got the stay-at-home order.
Wow. So he's a new kitty for y'all.
Yeah. I was going to say, he had a head tilt because he had an ear infection that never got cured while he was in the shelter. And now we're trying to fix that shit. Bro, this cat is so fucked up, he's going to have an ointment drawer soon.
Huh.
Only in his tooth.
Don't know that.
Oh, he'll be fine. He's sleeping. He won't remember. We have two. This one's the fat one.
Oh, he's cute too.
Yeah.
They're so precious. I love them.
They're great. I love them. Honestly, and I'm not even a cat person. I'm just a cat person when it comes to them.
Everybody says that about their cats.
Bro, I'm a my cat person. Other than that, I'm a dog person, but I'm a my cat person.
Sure.
I think that's a happy medium that I can have, that I can live with. But I do want to say thank you for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun bringing you on. And you're doing my show Friday, so I'm excited for that.
Yes. Remind me what time that is again?
9.
9. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, so once again, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you coming on. And hopefully you have time to finish that paper still, honestly.
Oh, God. Don't remind me. But thanks for having me, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off now so I can work on that paper.
You do what you got. Yeah. Have a good night, okay?
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Russ, guys. Next channel next week. Deuce.
Everyone's opinionated, insinuating that right and sin only then you hate it. I'm always getting so high so you can gaze up. I'm going Super Saiyan, hence the reason that I blaze up. It's future mayhem and invasion in the game. No more mumbling, I'm actually saying something, you lame ass suckers. The beat is infinite where I'm from, and the timeline has only begun. You stunned. To the beat.